everything you need to know about the Champions League match day 4. I'm Adrian, this is Rabona TV, and if you're finding us for the first time, why don't you consider hitting that subscribe button and then talking to us about all these matches in the comments section. It's chill here, we got our wine going. Today we're drinking a portada, it's a red, as you can see, from Portugal, the Lisbon region, 2013. Happy Halloween, we got chocolate on deck. It's gonna be a good time, guys. All right, and I almost forgot. Let me find it. There it is. Starting with Group A, because despite winning every single one of their group stage matches, Manchester United aren't qualified for the knockout stages yet because CSKA Moscow beat Basel to go level on points with Basel, 6 points each, which in turn means that either one of these teams could win their next 2 matches and United could lose their next 2, and they go through. I mean, that's not likely. I mean, the more likely situation is that United is going to get a draw or maybe even a win in their next match, and then they'll be qualified for the knockout stages. So United not making it through seems impossible, but what also seems impossible is Benfica getting anything from this Champions League group. Yes, we were unlucky. Yes, we fielded one of the babiest babies of all time in the Champions League. I'm talking about our young goalkeeper. No, we probably didn't deserve to lose both of these matches, especially the second one 2-0. That's a little bit flattering. But ultimately, we just weren't good enough. We haven't been in any of our matches. We lost 5-0 to FC Basel. FC Basel. Matic's goal was unfortunate for the keeper. A little bit unfortunate, but he's partially to blame too. His starting position wasn't great, and he dove super late. The ball was already almost past him by the time he even got close to it. But to be fair to the kid, he is super young. He is going to learn a ton, as a goalkeeper's career is the longer ones in the world of football. And it's not like our offense was doing anything either. The closest we came was Raul Jimenez banging it off the post, point blank. Nice one. But the fact remains that SL Benfica is the first Portuguese team ever to lose their first 4 matches of the Champions League group stage. Svilar did stop Martial's penalty, if that counts for anything, which was the first penalty that Martial has failed to score in his Manchester United career. The other penalty that Lukaku, that was Herrera, no, not Herrera, Daley Blind scored, shout out if you get that reference. The penalty that Daley Blind scored was actually his first ever goal in a European competition, so grats to you, Blind. Group B, and this group is all settled. Well, except for the Europa League spot, but come on, even that looks like it's settled already. Anderlecht took yet another L in their extremely tough group as PSG pounded them 5-0. Despite the free scoring match for the first time in this Champions League campaign, the deadly trio of Neymar, Mbappe, and Cavani didn't all get in on the goal contributions, with Cavani the one sucker that didn't get an assist or a goal. Also, his failure to score means that he will not be catching up to Ruud van Nistelrooy or Cristiano Ronaldo for consecutive matches in which he scores a goal in the Champions League. Mbappe, on the other hand, grabbed an assist, which means that he's been involved in 11 goals in his 13 Champions League matches, with 8 goals and 3 assists. Not bad for a little boy. But perhaps the standout, or at least surprise performance of the night, was from Layvin Kurzawa, the PSG left back, who scored a 26-minute hat-trick in the second half from just 3 shots on target. He's only the second player in PSG's history to score a hat-trick in the Champions League, with the other one being good old Zlatan Ibrahimovic in 2013 against, you guessed it, Anderlecht. The other match in this group saw Bayern slip past Celtic, at least on the score sheet, and 2-1, if you ask me, could be a little bit fortunate, as with their first goal, Kingsley Coman definitely handled the ball with his hand. Of course you handle with your hand. And having his hand in that unnatural position, he made himself bigger, thus influencing the play. I think it should have been a handball, although it was very difficult to see upon the first viewing. I didn't see it until I saw all the alternate views. Granted, though, that Celtic defending was pretty shit on that first goal. As it stands, PSG is slamming this group with win, and 17 goals scored and 0 conceded. Bayern will happily take second, while Celtic and Anderlecht will fight it out for their Europa League spot, which looks like it's gonna be Celtics in the end. Because Anderlecht, they haven't even scored a goal yet. Sorry, I can't help myself when there's a caramilk around. Okay, Group C, and to start it off, I want to say a personal I'm sorry to Brian Yim. Ryan, I didn't talk about your beloved Chelsea in my weekend report. I didn't take enough interest in their 1-0 win over Bournemouth, and I'm sorry for that. So to make it up to you, Brian, Chelsea became the first English team to lose in the Champions League this season as they fell 3-0 at the Stadio Olimpico. In doing so, Steven El Shaarawy, remember him, scored Roma's fastest ever Champions League goal with just 38 seconds on the clock. Also, on a personal note, he scored in back-to-back home matches for the first time in a year and scored a Champions League brace for the first time in his career. That rhymed unintentionally, I swear. Love you, Brian. The scoreline does seem a little bit harsh, though, considering how balanced this match was in every department other than the one that matters, the score sheet. By the way, I gotta give some props to Alexander Kolarov, who in the 2 matches against Chelsea contributed to 50% of the goals scored, and for absolutely nutmegging the soul out of Pedro. In the other match in this group, my boys Querébec continued to give problems to Atletico Madrid as they held on for a 1-1 draw. It wasn't pretty for them though, as Atletico Madrid had 35 shots in this match alone. In total in the Champions League, Atletico Madrid has had the most shots in the entire tournament with 79, so pretty much 50% of their shots were in this match. That's bad finishing, or just really bad luck. And considering they have all these shots though, they've only scored twice in 4 matches. But alas, they still sit in third, just a little bit behind Chelsea. They're still in touching distance. They could pull it off, but I don't really think that they will. Regardless, the matches between Chelsea and Atletico Madrid are going to be stunning. And Chelsea in turn are just 1 point behind Roma. Come on, get a bag! Group D, aka Group Draw, or Group Boring. On this match day at least, as both matches ended in boring draws. 1-1, and the worst result in football history, 0-0. Geez, these guys must have Mr. Managiorno at the helm. Oh! Spoiler alert for the episode that's dropping later this week. And for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, that's from my FIFA 18 career mode series, which is a fairly decent watch, so maybe give it a go. But anyways, back to the real life shit. There isn't that much to say, to be honest. I mean, Messi moved into joint 10th for the all-time appearances in the Champions League with 119 appearances now. He's tied with Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Xabi Alonso, so he's keeping good company. Messi played well, but he couldn't get a goal for Barcelona. Neither could their second highest goal scorer on the season, Mr. Own Goal, or their striker, formerly great, still great, but just going through a rough patch, Luis Suarez. His slump continues as he's scoreless in his last 4 with only 2 goals in his last 10. The other match, Juve and Sporting, was a little bit more exciting. Mainly just down to the fact that there was actually goals in this match. As Jorge Jesus' team made sure that they are still within striking distance of Juventus, but they will need a little bit of a favor from FC Barcelona when they play against Juventus, and will need to get the job done against Olympiacos in pretty much every single game that they have left. Olympiacos sit at the very bottom of this group and their fate seems pretty much sealed. But they can do Sporting a favor, like I was saying, as they host Juventus on the final match day of the season. That could be a big one. But stranger things have happened. Speaking of stranger things, season 2 is pretty dope so far, but no spoilers. Anyone who posts a spoiler will be banished from my comment section forever. Speaking of strange things, despite spending almost 74% of the first half in Maribor's half, Liverpool couldn't register a single goal. But I mean, that all changed real quick, where 4 minutes after the break, Mohamed Salah scored again with a neat little flick, taking his goal count to the 10+ range for the season, the first Liverpool player to do that. Then Milner failed to score a penalty, which is the 4th penalty in a row that Liverpool has failed to put away. They could really use some practice. And to cap it all off, Daniel Sturridge scored in his 2nd match running. His first Champions League goal since 2010 when he was playing with Chelsea. In the other match in this group, Sevilla got back to their winning ways in the Champions League with their 3rd win on the trot across all competitions. They did have a late scare as Spartak sub Zé Luís scored to make it 2-1 with 10 minutes left. But in the end held on and moved past their opponents on the day in the standings by just 2 points. Group F saw what was for sure the match of the match day, as Manchester City traveled to Napoli for some after Halloween fireworks. Insigne scored after 21 minutes, assisted by Dries Mertens, who took his goal involvement for the season up to 16 with 12 goals and 4 assists. Then City's defenders came out to play once again. Nobody talks about John Stones anymore because he is doing well. He scored the second for City, his 4th in the Champions League and 7th of his career. Then Jorginho put away a penalty, taking his career total to 9 taken, 9 scored. Before the king of scoring, Sergio Kun Aguero, put the visitors ahead and put himself in the history books as Manchester City's all-time leading goal scorer. Then, because people still won't take him seriously, Raheem Sterling went ahead and added a 4th goal to become the first City player to score 10 or more goals this season. So with that win, City have qualified for the knockout stages with a perfect record. Shakhtar continued to go quietly about their business and keep on winning games as they got a handy little victory over Feyenoord. Poor Feyenoord, as I say in every single episode, who are another one of the teams that has 0 points from 4 matches. Wow. Benfica, Feyenoord, Anderlecht, banished from the Champions League forever. That win over Feyenoord, by the way, means that Shakhtar has a 6-point lead over 3rd place Napoli, which going into this group back in September or whenever the draw was, you wouldn't think that Napoli would be in this position. But hey, that's the beauty of the Champions League. Am I right? Group G, one of the most competitive groups of this season, Besiktas finally dropped some points as AS Monaco came to town and gave them a fright. However, Besiktas still remain at the top of the table with a 4-point lead and are still undefeated in 11 matches. That 4-point lead remains because RB Leipzig couldn't get the job done against FC Porto, a feisty FC Porto side that just will not die in this group. They won 3-1 at home thanks to the Eras, getting goals from Herrera, Danilo Pereira, and Maxi Pereira, all the Eras getting in on the action. So Porto leapfrogs Leipzig, leaving AS Monaco at the very bottom of the group with just 2 points. What's going on there, Monaco? And finally, Group H, where Tottenham may have finally banished their Wembley hoodoo once and for all. Mind you, they were up against a Real Madrid side that has recently been dropping points, well, recently, this season, against teams like Girona, Levante, etc., etc. Regardless though, I'm not trying to take anything away from Tottenham. Adrian, tell him. Big ups to Dele, whose last 6 goals have all come at Wembley and managed to score a brace from just 2 shots. Well, and then a 3rd sitter that he put wide. It must be noted that he had a little help on the 2nd and that on the 1st, Kieran Trippier was actually offside. But anyways, Tottenham managed to out Real Madrid, as their 3rd goal was the definition of counter-attacking football. The 3-1 loss was Madrid's first loss to an English side since Liverpool in 2009, and it snapped their 30-match unbeaten run in the Champions League group stage. So that win qualifies Tottenham for the knockout stages, the 2nd English team to make it through. But I think the biggest achievement on this match day has to go to the staff at UEFA.com, who finally, come on everybody, give them a little clap for me. Give the UEFA.com staff a little clap. They finally figured out that Borussia Dortmund, despite drawing 1-1 again, should be in 3rd place due to their superior goal difference. So congrats guys, but seriously, Dortmund failed again, as they couldn't beat Apoel Nicosia again, leaving them winless in this group, and only 1 win in their last 6 matches across all competitions. And that win was against 2nd-tier German side, Magdeburg. Alright, now you're all caught up on everything that happened in the Champions League this week, and you can go and impress your friends at school, your comrades at the pub, your coworkers around the water cooler, or maybe that first date that you're on tonight. I don't know, that might not be the best move actually, unless she's interested in football, I don't know. Give it a shot. Let me know how it goes. Regardless of who you impress or don't impress, I thank you so much for watching. Consider dropping a like if you learned something today. My name is Adrian, and I'll see you later. Peace.